Tonight, we're breaking down the ABCs of YouTube Studio. Not advanced analytics, not traffic sources, just the numbers. The absolute basic numbers that every creator needs to understand. Because if you don't understand these three, you're likely to panic every time one of your videos doesn't take off. Be honest in the chat. Who feels confused when they open up YouTube Studio? Type the word me if that's you. And I'm going to type me in there because that's how it was for me as a new and small YouTuber. Because for real, YouTube doesn't come with an instruction guide, right? Especially for the creator. Yes, I love this. Welcome to Shop Talk. This is episode 80. Today's conversation is analytics basics for the content creator, the ABCs. Welcome in, creators. Look at all of these creators, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. There is no time like the present. Let's start with this one because it's my favorite one. And it's one that will really change the game for you. It's the click-through rate, CTR for short. It's real simple. Did they click? Did your viewers click? If they don't click, then nothing else matters. No, there's no watch time, there's no growth, and there's certainly no monetization. You've got to get the click. And it's that metric, CTR, click-through rate, that tells us how many times, how often folks are clicking your content. So think about your analytics in YouTube Studio, and have you saw that metric for some of your content? If you care to share, what was the click-through rate on some of your recent content? Share the one that you're most proud of. What percentage would you share? And while I'm giving you a moment to do that, we want to welcome Down Home Misty Style for becoming a member of Kendi K's crew. Welcome in, Down Home Misty Style and Monetize the Creator. Congratulations, Down Home Misty Style. Thank you for joining Kendi K's crew. And you were already a member of the Content Creator Collective. Thank you for being here for this episode of Shop Talk. Let's say hello to some of these creators who are joining us this evening. We want to welcome in Sandra James, Living It. I've been binge watching your content, Sandra. We want to welcome in Grant's Faithful GLP-1 Journey. Welcome back, Grant. And Grant, let me know down in the comments for the community post that he was sharing out that we were getting ready for Shop Talk. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a member of the Content Creator Collective. We want to welcome in Simply Debbie Sue. And there he is. It's the GOAT, Slim Jim Longfoot. Welcome in, friends. There's that sweet Southern lady, Simply Debbie Sue. Simply Debbie Sue, I loved your vlog with you and hubby going out and you all getting over there to the Walmart. You looking at those florals and then you decided to sit in the car and rest yourself. That is what I want you to do, Simply Debbie Sue, because you are just too cute to be winding yourself or doing too much. Yes. So you did your best and you went and got out and did a little grocery shopping with hubby. And then you did what a good Southern lady who was too cute to care. You just sat right there in that truck and let him go on in there and do whatever else he needed to do. continue to lean into that. Simply Debbie Sue. There's Monique Poe. Welcome in, friends, and welcome Gemini Diva. So, friends, the click-through rate is based on your thumbnail, the words on your thumbnail. The thumbnail is the picture, the words on the thumbnail, plus the written words to the side or below your thumbnail. Those things comprise the click-through rate, and it's those things working together in concert with each other that is going to make folks click on your content. We want to welcome in Mrs. Paula Does Retirement. Welcome, Mrs. Paula. And speaking of thumbnails, I owe you a zhuzhed up a thumbnail for 2026, and I'm going to put that on my to-do list. I'm overdue for getting that to you, and I want to do that for you, Mrs. Paula. Thank you for being here. Look at all these content creators. Oh, Kyle, I think we all want new iPads. I want an iPad Pro, and there's something else I want too. Yeah, I think we've all got channel goals. We're going to welcome in content creator, Rebounding with Cheryl. Welcome in. Welcome in, friends. This is Kendi K all day, and this is Shop Talk. Now tell me this. Here's another question. Drop in the comments if you care to. Think about the click-through rate for your recent content on your channel. Are you above 4% with that click-through rate? Are you above or below? So we can just say that. Type in above or below. Do you have any content that it is above 4%? And I'm going to share my thoughts as well. And we want to thank Down Home Misty Style for becoming a member of Kendi K's crew. And there she is, friends. It's our high vibe coach, Lala, the high vibe coach. So, friends, here are 3 of Kendi K's thumbnails, the picture, and take a good look at those thumbnails. And then next to it, you see the title. Which of these thumbnails do you think has the better click-through rate? You know, I'm always willing to put myself right on out there. So which of these do you feel has the best click-through rate? I see you, friends. Welcome, Melvin, and welcome, Mary's Life Journey. I'll get you guys up on the screen in just a second here. Y'all don't forget to drop your channel link. You can continue to do that through the chat. Look at all these creators and those who are even considering being a content creator. You're in the right place at the right time. This is Shop Talk, and we are the Content Creator Collective. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in. Which of these Kendi K's content do you believe has the best click-through rate? The higher the number, the better the click-through rate. And remember, when we talk about the click-through rate, we're talking about the image, the thumbnail, any words that are on that thumbnail, and the full title. And did you know that YouTube allows 100 characters for that full title? But to be optimized for mobile, you want to use 60 characters or less. But this is my long format content. And according to my YouTube Studio analytics, most of my viewers are viewing my long format content on their television or on their tablet or on a computer. Yes. We have many, many viewers who use their cell phones to access YouTube, but my particular audience, I am reading the signs. So that's why Kendi K delivers content in both horizontal like on a television and also in a vertical stream of optimized for mobile. Wow, look at these folks coming on in here, becoming members of Kendi K's crew. Y'all, so let's talk about it. I see which one of these thumbnails performed best, including the title. You got to take the title along with it. Rebounding with Cheryl says C. Simply Debbie Sue says C. Sandra James, Living It, C. Mrs. Paula, C. We're breaking it down. Got a lot of C's sitting out here. Well, here we go. Are you ready? Let me show you. Let me show you what the click-through rates for Kendi K's recent content, and this is for the last 28 days. Friends, there you have it. There you have it. We want to welcome in Jerry G. Welcome in, friend. Thank y'all for joining me for this episode of Shop Talk. It's the ABCs. It's the analytics basics for the YouTube content creator. Friends, I see all of you all selecting that C, and Monique Poe, she's got it right. She's got the A. It is thumbnail A that has the best click-through rate, and friends, it has a whopping click-through rate of 20.85%. Can you believe that as a click-through rate? Believe it because it's true. Believe it because it's true. That middle thumbnail has a click-through rate of 17.65%, almost 18% click-through rate. So anytime we're looking at a percent, we're talking about out of 100, 20 folks out of 100 clicked on Kendi K's at-home sleep study. Almost 18% of viewers, when shown my thumbnail on their device, almost 18% clicked on that to learn how to clean their glass top stove. And I had a respectable 3.39 click-through rate on Kendi K's homemade vegetable soup. So thank you all for at least believing in Kendi K's homemade soup, but it does not have that higher click-through rate. And let's talk a little bit about that. Let's use this as a learning space, and I'm happy to offer this up and share. We want to welcome in Shanae. Hi there, Shanae. What a beautiful profile picture you have there. And Lala is already getting to the meat of the matter. Why did that sleep study thumbnail perform so much better than the other thumbnails, such as the soup? Okay. Notice, not only did you get Kendi K's face, y'all, any face, your face especially. You remember that as a YouTuber, you are your brand. So they got Kendi K 1, 2, 3, 4 times on that thumbnail, on the same thumbnail. Yes. So I know that that was one of the reasons. What are some of the other reasons? Y'all, please lean into this discussion here. We're really getting down to the nitty gritty with how to get the click. The click-through rate has to be the first thing we talk about when we look at analytics basics for the content creator, because if you don't get the click, you don't have anything else. You won't get the view, you won't get the watch time, and you certainly won't ever reach monetization. And it's monetization and beyond. And if you have those goals for your YouTube channel, you're in the right place at the right time. Yes, a lot of people were interested in sleep studies because a lot of folks have had a sleep study. But the new aspect to that was Kendi K doing an at-home sleep study. That's what made this so much more relevant. And y'all really lean into that thumbnail. Let's compare these thumbnails so that we can identify elements that we can now implement into our own thumbnails. So even without my face, with the Mr. Clean Magic Erasers, using it as a hack to safely clean your glass top stove, you get Kendi K's real hand, right? And while it doesn't have any words, as in a short title on the thumbnail, you do see the actual Mr. Clean product and it has words on it, right? Right. And do you see that both of these are solving real world problems for folks? Here is that. How do you conduct an at-home sleep study? And then with the glass stovetop, how do you keep that glass stovetop clean? Friends. And then finally, why didn't Kendi K's hearty vegetable soup, and it looks scrumptious to me, but why did it not perform as well for a click-through rate? Let's break that down, friends. Let's break it down. Let's break it all the way down. Yes. Rebounding with Cheryl says that sleep apnea study that can be conducted at home. You don't have to make an appointment and go to visit a sleep center and go in your pajamas over there and spend the night in some strange place with all of those leads and wires coming out of everywhere stuck to your body. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't. You don't. I think all of those things, the timeliness, the relevance, Kendi K showing her face on the thumbnail 4 different times, all of those things help to really push this to a 20.85% click-through rate. And y'all, that has to be one of my highest ever click-through rates. A good click-through rate would be anything for a small creator, y'all. We'll talk about that in just a second. But anytime you're getting a click-through rate of 2 to 3%, you're on the map. You're on the map as a new and small creator. Now, why didn't that? Let's talk a little bit about why that vegetable soup may not have performed as well. Well, first of all, the other two were long format videos, but the vegetable soup was a live stream. It was a 41-minute live stream, right? And so live streams bring in a lot of viewers in real time to your live stream as you're chatting it up. And in this case, as I was cooking a quick midweek dinner. But what they don't do is you typically do not have viewers who are going to stay for the full duration of your replay once that live stream is over and the video goes into replay mode, or what we call a video on demand. Gemini Diva suspects as well that the soup is just a common soup, right? That's what Gemini Diva is saying. Mrs. Paula still going. Do you see folks want to talk about that at-home sleep study from Snap Diagnostics? Kendi K had all the right wording on this thing, right? I had the picture of the equipment. Can you see that from the thumbnail? All of those things help to work well. Yes, Lala is giving us a pro tip. I love ShopTalk because this is what we do, y'all. It's the Content Creator Collective. We are here to connect, to collaborate, to learn, and to grow our channels to and through full monetization. It's monetization and beyond, because we are maintaining a growth mindset. And so, y'all, if you look carefully, you do see a person standing behind that soup, but I don't think there was enough of this AI generated image. Now, that is my soup, but I wanted the soup to be in a background, trying to zhuzh it up. As you can see, I've got my goldenrod yellow wording on it, hearty vegetable soup, but it was flat. It was flat. And so I acknowledge that to you as well. Sometimes we just can't call it. We had really good views on the soup during the live stream, but it's the replay and it's the length of the replay. Lala gives us a pro tip here. She says, slice and dice that live stream up following your live stream and get it down so that it looks more like a long form video. Look at my other video, 16 minutes for the SNAP sleep study. And it was a step-by-step tutorial. Okay. I was teaching folks how to use all the pieces. I was demonstrating. It was a step-by-step, just like I was demonstrating to viewers how, y'all, this is evergreen content. This is evergreen content, including the vegetable soup. Yes. Would I change the thumbnail of the soup? Nope, because it's at a 3.39. And I said, we're still even, Kendi K, y'all, even with over 2,000 subscribers now, Kendi K is still just as small and new as you. Literally, Rebounding with Cheryl, you know, you have way more subscribers than I have, right? And we are all still, anything less than 500,000 subscribers is considered small in the YouTube algorithm. So, but if you get to a click-through rate of 3, is a really good start on a click-through rate. And let me just be even more transparent about that so that you all know what we're talking about here. So how do you find this click-through rate? Because I want to make sure that you guys are able to even access this through YouTube Studio. And of course, I highly recommend that if you haven't been looking at your YouTube Studio analytics from the full desktop version, that is where you need to start. It's really good for us to whip out our cell phones, our mobiles, and see what our subscriber count is, see what our watch hours are looking like. But when you want these good ABC analytics like click-through rate, you really need to go into the full desktop edition. Now, you can pull up click-through rate from your mobile, but condition yourself to get as much information as you can about your channel, so that you can do some data-informed decision-making about your channel. Lives are hecka important, Grant. I cannot stress enough. If you really want to grow your channel, you got to be a triple threat. If you really want to grow your channel, you've got to be a triple threat. And anyone that has been a member of the Content Creator Collective, they know what Kendi K means when she says a triple threat. I'm talking about someone who initiates long format videos, and a whole lot of them, and who pushes out a whole lot of live streams. Live streams give you 2 opportunities to connect with viewers while you're live and then on the replay. Then that video, after the live stream ends, your content performs just like a long format video. So you get a 2-for-1 in that respect. So I fully agree with you as a content creator. Folks are thanking Lala. Thank you all for this great discussion. Yeah, I've got so much other content to put out, Rebounding with Cheryl, that as long as it's got a healthy click-through rate, and 3% is healthy, right? 3% click-through rate is in fact healthy. And especially for small creators, we're still learning. We still got so much to grow. It's, y'all, you can zhuzh it up later, but make sure you've got your most recent content out. And is there other editing that you need to be working on instead? Work on that first. Always work on that first. Y'all, but you can find the click-through rate in a couple different places down in YouTube Studio. But you need to go, if you're in the full desktop edition, you need to click on the Reach tab. Notice that I have it highlighted there in blue across the top. You need to click on the Reach tab. When you open the analytics in the full version of YouTube Studio, it always defaults to open on the overview. You need to get beyond that and tab over to the Reach tab. And that is where I can see that 3.4% click-through rate on Kendi K's Hearty Vegetable Soup. 1,000 impressions. So that means that all over the world, 1,000 devices were shown Kendi K's Hearty Vegetable Soup, that thumbnail and title, and 263 folks clicked and started that watch time to growing. Yeah, impressions means the number of times your thumbnail and title are shown on a device anywhere throughout the world. Anywhere throughout the world. Did you know that your thumbnails are not shown to everybody's devices? They are not, especially as small and new creators. You've got to get yourself in the algorithm, friends. And as you can see, this soup went out the end of January, and we've got some traction over the last few days on it because it's now about a month old for that content. So it's still doing what it needs to do. And we are getting clicks on it. Now, if you notice all the way to the right, just above the thumbnail, it says we have 263 views. And of those 263 views, friends, 246 of those views are unique viewers. 200 of those 263 views of this content, 246 of those views are unique viewers. Unique viewers means that 246 different people watched this video on demand, right? Following a live stream. 246 of the 263 were unique viewers. Unique meaning 246 different humans throughout the world. And then that leaves about another 20 or so that for whatever reasons, maybe they watched it during the live stream and went back and watched it when it went into the replay mode as a video on demand, or they probably caught it as part of Kendi K's 54 playlists. I really have 57 playlists and 54 of them are public. Yes. So when we talk about unique viewers, just want to make sure that you guys are leaving here with some deliverables and that you are getting more information about how to read and interpret your YouTube Studio analytics. Lala says, I often cut up my lives into long form videos, add a new thumbnail and description because I don't think YouTube pushes that live replay as often as the long form. Yeah, this Rebounding with Cheryl asked me that question. This is a redone thumbnail. Because I know this was actually vegetable soup that I had meal prepped or batch cooked, and it was in the freezer. And so I unthawed it. I added some more veggies that I needed to use out of the refrigerator before they went bad. And so, yeah, this is the soup as it came out of the pot after I finished warming it up and adding more fresh veggies and frozen veggies to it. We want to welcome in B1 Trucker. Good question there, B1 Trucker. Kendi K, how do you always have great energy? How do you present that energy on days that you don't feel like it? Friends, let me level up with you because we are the Content Creator Collective. You're right. I want to have great energy. And this is why you don't see my face today. This is why you guys are getting Kendi K like this with Kendi K's avatar, because Kendi K has worked a full workday and I worked a full grueling workday yesterday on my full-time job. And so this allows me to save face and still come and connect with the Content Creator Collective. And I'm holding space for that. I am trying to hold space for that and acknowledge that I am, in fact, human. And so in order for me to facilitate Shop Talk with 3 live streamed episodes a week, I do plan to use my avatar instead of me being live streamed with my video camera on. I am holding space that and based on my bandwidth, based on my energy, I'm giving myself permission when needed just to use my avatar. On Sundays, that's more likely when you're going to get to see me live and in living color with my video camera on. And then when I have guests who are joining me on stage as well. So, y'all, this is the information this is what we do here during the Shop Talk. We want to, there's Normie. I'm so glad. Mrs. Paula says, Shanna, I did not know what that meant when it talks about unique viewers. Yes, unique. That it is probably one of the most misunderstood analytics. Okay, this content has been viewed 263 times. And of those 263 times, 246 people all over the world, different humans, viewed this content. And then so that leaves about 20 some odd who came back and watched pieces or all of it, or watched it in a playlist and watched it multiple times, more than just one time. Good-ish. Look at all these new creators joining us. Kendi K, I'm just thankful for the info. You could be on here with a chicken hat on your head and I wouldn't blink. If I had a chicken hat, I would. I was out running errands today in between my workday meetings and I had my hat on. Yes, because I was having a bad hair day to boot. Yeah, it's life is lifing. Life is lifing. Absolutely, my friends. Do what you have to do. Because I'll tell you this, when I first started Shop Talk, I wouldn't dare not be on camera with my video on. I wouldn't dare think of it. But now I am giving myself permission because I have seen so many phenomenal creators who are able to effortlessly execute a live stream with so much energy without having their camera on. It's you don't even realize that they are not there with their camera on. Thank you all for stopping in and dropping these great comments. Kyle says, how do you know if your contract goes polish? I'm not sure what you're saying there, Kyle. Oh, thank you. Shanna or Shanae. I'm not sure if it's Shanae or Shanna, but thank you, friend. I don't know about the queen, but we are the Content Creator Collective, and we are here learning and growing together. That I know for sure. We want to thank Lala, the High Vibe Coach, for leveling up and becoming a member of Kendi K's core crew. What a great way to elevate your membership. And friends, here we go. This is one that you want to take a quick photo of or do a screen capture of. What is a good click-through rate for small channels like ours? 2 to 3%. Go now that you have so much more information about the click-through rate, go back through and see what your click-through rate is on some of your recent content. Go back all the way back to your first video. See what the click-through rate was on that particular video. I bet you'll be surprised. And now you have a guide. I wanted to make sure I created a visual so that everyone could see what and have this to refer back to as a general guide for small creators. And when we look at those numbers, so now that you can see again why I'm so very proud of the click-through rate on my at-home sleep test from Snap Diagnostics and my Mr. Clean. Found another hack for using those Mr. Clean magic erasers. You can also use them to clean your glass top, that grime that gets on your glass top, stove top from the bottom of your pots. Yeah, so I did a quick video on that as well. And y'all, that content is a year old. The glass top cleaner with Mr. Clean, that content is a year old and still got views. Those are the views for the last 28 days, friends. Those are just the views for the last 28 days on that content. Yes, evergreen content is where it's at, because once you reach monetization, you are going to continue to gain revenue from that content. Anything time you get a click-through rate over 10%, it's gold. It's gold and growing. And the YouTube algorithm is pushing you out, pushing you out, pushing you out. Friends, now a click-through rate of 2 to 3%, it's a starting point because there are click-through rates lower than that, friends. Okay, you could get a 1% out there, right? But when you get 2 to 3%, it's good. See, mine was 3 point something on that soup video. So that means it's approaching a 4. And that's normal. That's normal, according to YouTube and according to the algorithm. Yes. So once you get to that 4 to 6%, what happens once you reach a click-through rate of 4 to 6%, the YouTube algorithm starts to put you in a testing market, meaning they're going to send you out to smaller pools, give you more impressions. They're going to place your thumbnail on more devices throughout the world because they're like, oh, people are liking this. They're clicking. So let's go ahead and send that small creator's content out to wider audiences. And then know now, once you get more impressions, you're also going to get more folks who are what? Not going to click. You're likely to get more people who will click, but you're also going to get, because they send it out to more devices. They sent your thumbnail, so now we call it an impression, is being sent out to more devices. And the more impressions that you get put out there, the more folks who are going to say, I don't know what that is. I don't want to click on that. So you might see a little bit of a dip in the click-through rate. When it was only sent out to 50 devices, if 25 of those folks clicked, well, friends. But now that you have 1,000, 30,000 impressions, I do have a few shorts and a few long format videos that have 10, 20, 30,000 impressions. Yeah, but that leaves so many more folks who don't have to want to make the click. All right. So to whom much has been given, much is still required. Good points. Ooh, look at these good content creators. Yes, absolutely. So I hope that helped to give you all some more information about click-through rate and your own content. So remember that the click-through rate is the number of viewers who clicked after seeing your video, and you need to create a good thumbnail, words on that thumbnail, and you just need a few bold words on your thumbnail, right? If you have too many words on your thumbnail, then it will obscure your pictures. And the thumbnail should be 99% just about the pictures, right? When you think about the words on a thumbnail, they should be large enough for folks to read them from a mobile and large enough for folks to read them on a television or tablet or computer screen. But make sure that any wording that you put on the thumbnail is still large enough to view with ease from the cell phone, from the mobile device. If you don't get the click, then there's nothing else to go with it. If folks don't click, then that means they're not connecting with your content. So it's important for us to talk about first things first. It's that click-through rate. Remember that as you prepare thumbnails, friends, you want to have one clear focal point. When your thumbnails are too busy, folks don't know what your content is going to be about. So make sure that there is one thing that is creates one big focal point, and there can be some other things, but there should only be one clear point of focus for your thumbnail. The rest of the things might have supporting roles. And if you do include yourself on your thumbnail, and you should, as you can see, it will really raise your click-through rate. Folks on YouTube, y'all, it's called YouTube. So folks want to see you or your avatar. Make sure that either one has a very strong smile, facial expression, a look of confusion, tears, even whatever you do. One person I know who has great facial expressions is Mrs. Paula Does Retirement. She has very good click-through rates. and facial expressions on her thumbnails. Oftentimes, it is her facial expressions that make me click. So let's keep moving forward. We already have so much information. Let's keep moving forward because we've all been working all day, doing whatever we do in our lives outside of YouTube. And so I don't want to be too long here. The next metric we're going to look at is average view duration. How long are folks staying on your content? That's what we mean by average view duration. Average view duration is about one thing. Did the viewers stay? We know they clicked. That's click-through rate. But did they stay? And friends, the bottom line is this, that attention will drop off when you don't change what folks are viewing. Attention increases when the brain gets a reset. So let's focus on the things that we need to do to give folks a quick reset. You want to add some on-screen text or emojis. You want to put words inside your video on the screen. Or emojis. You want to change the visual image that folks are seeing. Are you giving them a bird's eye view? Are you zooming in, giving them a close-up? Are you giving them an aerial view? We see a lot of folks are using drones now because it gives us a great bird's eye view. Wow. Wow. I'm mesmerized by those great views. I'm mesmerized by all of these sunsets, sunrises, all of these things. I'm mesmerized when I'm watching Real Journal Talk with V and she's doing her coloring or she's doing her budgeting. I love all of these things because it's like I'm peeking over her shoulder as she works. Posing questions to the viewer, but you got to put the question on the screen or you've got to ask them as part of your narration of the video. That is how you increase the average view duration, how long folks are staying on your content. So friends, I want to stop right there and I want to, let's put some comments up here on the screen. So many great comments. Yeah, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get folks to stay on our content. And right along with average view duration is the watch time. So the average view duration is how many minutes? It's an average. On average, out of those 246 folks who watched Kendi K's soup video, what was the average number of time that each of those viewers stayed on my content? And then the watch time means we add up all of their actual minutes, minute by minute, that they stayed on the content. And that becomes those minutes turn into hours, and those hours become watch hours towards the 500 you need for initial monetization and the 1,000, towards the 3,000 watch hours you need for initial monetization and the 4,000 watch hours you need in the last 365 days that you need towards full monetization. So let's do this, friends. Let's take a look and let's do a live demonstration. Do you mind if we do a live demonstration and take a look in YouTube Studio? I want to show you step by step using the full desktop edition of YouTube Studio so that we can take a look and I can show you where to find these metrics for average view duration, AVD, and watch time. Janelle says, I'm really working on my average view duration. It is so important. Yeah, it tells you. For instance, we're going to take a look at my sleep apnea test, which has a whopping 20% click-through rate on it, and it's gone just down just a little bit. So now it's sitting at about 18%. But you know how it could get a better click-through rate is if y'all went back and watched Kitty K's home sleep test. My home sleep study test. If you watch that 16-minute video, it could be right back up to 20, but it's down to 18. But y'all, it's still amazing, the click-through rate. So we're going to take a look back at this video, and I'm going to do it from YouTube Studio. So if y'all give me just a moment, and I will bring it in just a moment here. Let me just pop over. I think I've got it set up. I do. Let me share my screen. And there we have it, friends. Here is my YouTube Studio opened up to the sleep apnea sleep study. And as you can see, I have 1.4 thousand impressions. And so that's been shown on 1,400 devices around the world. 18.5% of folks have clicked on that, and it was sitting on 20, and now it's down just a bit. But friends, this video is just for the last month. Okay, this is not for the duration, y'all. This is just for the last month, and because this video, I just did this video at the end of January. And so we've got 324 views to date, and of those, 263 folks. So that means folks really resonated with this one because I had it in multiple playlists. So folks had the opportunity to watch this again. I did a premiere of this. Y'all might have been a part of the premiere of this content. Absolutely. And we have 263 unique viewers out of the 324 people. 263 of them were different humans. But folks are watching that. And I think because, y'all, it is a step-by-step how to use all of the equipment that comes in the at-home sleep study box. So I would imagine folks will be watching this, starting it, stopping it multiple times so that they would know how to hook themselves up. Because that's the challenge for this at-home sleep study is that you've got to hook everything up yourself on your own body before you can safely fall asleep. Absolutely. Thank you all for being here for this episode of Shop Talk. We're doing the analytics basics for the content creator. It's the ABCs. And so, friends, again, I'm going right back to that reach tab. Across the top it's going to by default open up to the overview tab, and you just need to click on the reach button. And now you can see that click-through rate, and you can see those views. And then, friends, we also need to just go right over there and click on engagement. And now you see that average view duration. Y'all, look at that red line on that chart. Look at that red line on that graph. Notice, do you see the red line, and then do you see the gray line below it? Notice, friends, that gray line indicates my average performance for my content on my channel. That alone tells you that this video, it is just an outlier in the best way. You'll always start to see that gray line. The gray line share tells you what is normal for your channel and your content. But then if that red line is way above that, those are wins for you and your channel. And it tells me right there that my average view duration on this 16-minute video is 5 minutes and 30 seconds. But y'all, that is super, super, super good. Yeah. Now the average view duration has gone down quite a bit. It was people were watching about 50% of that video, but remember, I opened this video, made it public as a public premiere. So that means I had supporters and who watched that and helped me to get a very high average view duration, so that when it evens out, now we're back at about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is still up a minute and 22 seconds. Y'all, these are my real life analytics as a small YouTuber. I am still growing, and so are you. Watch time to date, 29 hours. 29 watch hours on this content. And yes, this content has even has some revenue on it. It is making money. If you're interested in how much money, then you want to make sure that you lock in and clock in and become a member of Kendi K's core crew. Okay. And so look at there. If we scroll on down beyond the chart, we get so much more information, friends. And so thank you all for locking in. It says for concurrent viewers, we topped out with 9 folks who were watching that stream when it premiered. 9 folks were watching at the same time, and I typically average about 6. Y'all, I'm still a small and new content creator. So if you get more folks showing up at your premieres, way to go. The reason why I am sharing my real life statistics is because I want you to have some metrics to compare your YouTube life to. It helps. It helps, right? But I'm continuing to scroll down, and now I can see the average view duration, 5 minutes, 31 seconds, meaning that folks have viewed 33% of that video. That's not bad. It's better than them viewing just 1 minute or 30 seconds and clicking away. They've, in fact, viewed a third of it. It says that I've got 100% likes on that video. Love that. But notice that most of my content is appreciated. And y'all, don't sweat the small stuff. You are going to have folks who, for whatever reasons, hit the thumbs down button. Nobody cares. Not even YouTube. Nobody cares, right? And notice when we look at the retention chart, look, we've got some spikes there with folks who, there are really different parts of this video that folks really tuned into. A lot of good information there just by clicking on that, going over to the engagement. So we've looked at the reach, and then we also looked at the engagement in order to find the average view duration, and we get more information about the number of watch hours. Okay. Let me see what we've got in the chat there. It's my pleasure to do so. It's my absolute pleasure to do so. Oh, Kyle's giving us a pro tip. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle says sometimes he does watch folks' content on a repeat. And I don't mind watching folks' content, because if I like your vibe, if I like that you have nice music, or, you know, something to, especially as I'm working during my work day, friends, I love to throw up a person's playlist and just let it roll through. Gives me something to listen to as I'm doing my workday flow. I enjoy that too. Kyle, thanks for sharing that pro tip with us. And y'all, let's keep moving forward because time is of the essence here. I know everyone has had a long day. And let's get back to our visuals here. Now, let's we've looked at click-through rate, we've looked at average view duration, and we've also looked at watch time. But we want to make sure that we look at that what's going to help folks to stay on our content with the average view duration. It is recognizing that folks need to see something different. They need to see something different. Their brain needs to do a reset. We know that because of smartphones, because of shorts, because of the other social medias that all run in the vertical feed, folks have a declining sense of attention. And our attention spans are so short. So we've got to think about that as a way for how we structure our content. And we kind of have to retrain the brain, change the tone of your voice, right? Because it'll make folks look up, right? Or it'll make them look at their screen and continue watching versus scrolling away. Some folks tend to have a really soft therapeutic voice, but that makes folks kind of click away, or they forget that they're watching your content if you don't modulate up and then bring that thing back down, right? Adding words, changing music, using music, getting your voice soft, making your voice loud and strong and boisterous. All of those things will help to the ebbs and the flows, and giving your viewers questions to answer. Adding that as those questions as part of your narrated voice during the video, during the long format video, or even during the live stream. And then adding those questions and emojis to your video content for your long format videos. Y'all have fun. I cannot stress that enough. I am enjoying YouTube, number one, because now I'm a fully monetized content creator. But y'all have fun with these YouTube channels, y'all. Try new things out. You will be surprised. I want to share with you one more piece from I want to share one more piece from my airport travel vlog. And I want you to see if you can find moments where I'm asking questions, where I am modulating my voice. My voice is going up and down, where I've got music coming in, where I'm switching to new scenes, etc. Yeah, I can cook a cake, but a lot of folks don't want to see that cake from start to finish. They want to see me cook the cake, and then they want to see what Kendy K is getting into when she goes to the grocery store. And then she comes back and we can peek in on the cake in the oven. And then she's going to fix her cafe mocha at her coffee station, dressed up for St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day. And then at the end, we're going to come back and see the finished pound cake. Yeah, I'm switching it up because by doing so, it makes folks watch for longer watch sessions. And so you can increase your average view duration. So let's see if we can go over here. Let me make this big and tall for us. And let's watch. We're just going to watch a minute or so. Let me see if I can do this right.
Okay, Lewis. Return to screen your identification. And Lewis, return to screen.
Welcome to Salt Lake. And once I saw that Weller Bookworks was an independently family-owned small business since 1929, I had to do some shopping and buying. I was honestly surprised to see a banned book display, but in 2026, it is our reality. Books that help me to learn who I am and to be proud to be a Black woman. And let's face it, y'all, Charlotte's Web, The Hate You Give, y'all, these are the books that I read in middle school, in high school, that are now, quote, banned. What's going on in America? This is a democracy.
Notice that I don't
We need to
mind at
fight for
all
it.
sharing my true opinion about things. Y'all, this is YouTube. It's about you being you. I am the brand. We have added a little bit of music. And some folks just want to be middle of the road. Well, that's fine too, but are you being true to yourself? Let me see if I can move this up just a little bit. Oops,
So you
we
guys
got
are
to
just like
add.
State
So
Farm, right?
we will stop right there. Oh, I got to stop it, y'all. We got to add. We got to add running. Thank you all for joining me for Shop Talk. So, friends, I just want to end this episode of Shop Talk is brought to you by Pound Cake Experts, featuring vegan, sugar-free, and gluten-free options with 50 gourmet flavors of pound cake. There is something there for everyone. Y'all check out Pound Cake Experts on all social medias. Visit poundcakeexperts.com. And when you visit and purchase from Pound Cake Experts, would you let her know that Kendi K sent you? Friends, we've got one last thing that I want to share with you coming up. If you are enjoying learning and growing as a content creator, I have had so many creators in the content creator collective to reach out to me and inquire, Kendi K, how can I connect at a deeper level with you? Kendi K, wow, you are really sharing so much information with such transparency. And so a natural progression is that we have this click clinic. We were talking about our click-through rate and making sure that thumbnails will get us the click. And so my very first one-on-one workshop, it's going to have one-on-one opportunities as an extension of the workshop and during the workshop. But if you desire to learn how to create better thumbnails so that you can get the click, then I invite you to take part in this click clinic with 2 sessions. You choose the one that works best for your schedule. It's going to be a 90-minute workshop. It's going to be a more intimate setting away from YouTube. If you want to ask questions of me in real time without having to type them on the screen and me post them up, you can just ask them. You can unmute yourself. You can have your video camera on or off. All of those things. We're going to do this away from StreamYard and away from YouTube. It will not be shown on YouTube, y'all. If you desire that, then go ahead and point your camera towards this QR code and go ahead and get more information and register if you are interested in a different way to access Kendi K. And y'all, everything that you need to do for YouTube is available to you absolutely free. And I do mean everything that you need. But if you want Kendi K to work with you one-on-one, if you desire to connect with other creators and really talk strategy at a deeper level, to really go into how to create better thumbnails, what that looks like using the free applications that are out there. See, one thing about it, Kendi K, I am very proud that I have learned how to use so many of these technologies at no cost to me. right? Because I don't, once you add $9.99 over here plus tax, plus $10.99 over there plus tax, or plus $7.99 over here, y'all, that's a lot of money for a content creator who's not monetized. Because frankly, friends, it's a lot of money for a content creator who is monetized. Okay. And so I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm going to share what I know, and we're going to talk shop, and you will leave this Click Clinic with at least one fully complete thumbnail and titling to go with it. Plus, you will have the opportunity to create a lot of thumbnail concepts for some of your upcoming content. So point your QR code there. And I believe that I also dropped this into the chat earlier. So if you look for, check the top of the chat, and I think I pinned it already. It's Connect with Kendi K, tinyurl.com, Kendi K. And y'all, I will post a post about this. If you are a member of Kendi K's crew, you have a special pricing in place, and that too will come to you. And I'll share that special pricing through your community post for members only. Y'all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for locking in, and thank you for being here. This is Kendi K all day. And we are over and out. Thank y'all for being here. Feel free to point your mobile towards the QR code, or the link is in the chat, pinned to the top of the chat. Morning like coffee in hand, making moves with a master plan. Simple things make the spirit stay. We find our joy in the everyday. Keep it real, that's the only way. For the love and all you make, from meal past the dreams that play. We grow up in our